for you. Are you afraid to ask God for things? I think the average person that I talk to about prayer, lots of people tell me, I don't even like asking God for things. And when you ask them why, it's say, well, I don't want to put them out, basically is what they're saying. Or they're afraid to ask God for something and then God not grant that. And then they feel like they're a failure. So they just pray safe prayers. Well, look, God wants us to pray boldly. I mean, he's our Father. Jesus said, call him Abba, Abba, our Father who art in heaven. Abba is, back in Jesus' day, Abba was like daddy or pops, or it was a intimate way of talking to the Father. So when Jesus teaches us to pray, he says, start off with addressing him as your Father in heaven. So we can pray boldly, and over the next few videos, I want to just talk about why we can pray boldly. First of all, we can pray boldly if we understand, if we know that God is listening to our prayers. If we know that God is listening to our prayers and we are talking to him as Father, then we can pray more boldly. When I look back on my life, the times when, here's what I found about praying boldly. If I'm willing to go forward boldly as I pray boldly, that's really when you seem to see God work, as you're going forward and you're being bold. See, God knows us better than we know ourselves. Psalm 139 says this, O Lord, you have examined my heart and you know everything about me. He created you. He knows everything about you. You know, I used to be a therapist and I counsel people all the time. And part of helping them get through the situations and the problems they had in their life is being able to help them discover what was going on inside of them. And that would help them make better decisions. Now, God knows always what's going on inside of you. He knows what went on inside of you before, what's going to go on inside of you later. He knows what's in there and how you're to deal with it. In verse 2, he says, you know, when I sit down, you know me when I sit down, you know me when I stand up, you know my thoughts. Even when I'm far away, even when I'm distant from you, God, you know my thoughts. Even when I don't hear you, you hear what's going on inside my head. And then verse 3 and 4, you see me when I travel and when I rest at home, you know everything I do. You know what I'm going to say even before I say it, Lord. So look, when you're thinking you want to ask God for something bold, you want to step out in faith, don't be afraid. He already knows you want to ask it. My granddaughter, Poppy, she's very kind, patient, loving. She's not very selfish, at least when she's around Lisa and I. And oftentimes we'll take her out to eat and she'll pick the cheapest thing. Or we'll take her Lisa likes to take her out on our grandkids out on their birthday and let them pick what they want. And she picks the safest thing, the thing that she doesn't want to put us out. And you know what we want? We want her to put us out. We want to give her something special. That's what God feels about you. He wants to give you something special. So we can pray boldly if we know that God knows us and he's listening to our prayers. How about you? Pray boldly.